Okay.
On.
Okay, so guys, can we start? Yeah. So how many of you have used Elastic or know about Elastic?
Just hold on. Let me have a stack. How many? Oh.
Yeah, pretty good number.
Very nice.
I see a lot of stickers with this guy. So you attend the meetups as well, I guess. Yeah. It's nice. So we have a meetup on 26th as well. So
They said haptic.
it's haptic, yeah. So yeah, so good number of people know what is Elastic, right? So which use case primarily you are using it for?
Logging.
Logging? Logging? Everyone is logging?
Logging and data storage.
We have some data in
Okay, nice.
search as well. Storing and search.
Sorry, who is doing what?
For data
We
storage.
have some events storing that.
and search.
ये जब तू स्क्रीनिंग क्वेश्चन में ऐसे कुछ लिखते नहीं तुम लोग बॉस और फिर रिजेक्ट होता है फिर मेरे को बोलता है हाउ आर यू हु एल्स
We use it for search.
Oh,
like
sorry.
Our main bookmachine search is actually powered
बाय इलास्टिक
in the backend is Elastic.
And you self-manage it or you use any services?
We use self-managed.
Self-manage, yeah. Okay, nice. So, yeah, I mean, search, logging, few of the use cases people use Elasticstack for. Good sample size here uses Elasticstack. Do you guys have any idea how many number of downloads of Elasticstack there would be globally till date? Rough idea, rough number. Any guesses? 50 million. Anyone else? It's 350 million downloads. So it's frankly one of the most popular stacks globally, open source stacks globally. And the use cases you talk about, search, logging, it's just scratching the surface. People use it for endless number of use cases. Every other day I meet a customer and they say, oh, we use it for this use case. I was like, okay, even you can do it for this use case. Even in India, a leading bank is powering their customer 360 using the Elasticstack. So yeah, we have different use cases, but obviously most popular ones are search and logging. And now we also have logging, metrics, and APM combination of these things. It's becoming a very popular solution for entire operational analytics and uptime monitoring. So I guess I'll not spend more time. I'll quickly jump. This is the agenda. I'll just give an overview of logging in the Elasticstack, ingestion features of 6.5. If time permits, I'll cover the advanced topics, security, alerting, and machine learning. But to quickly start off with the lab, can you guys go to cloud.elastic.co and create a trial account? Because it will take 4-5 minutes. We can start off with that. I'll project the instructions.
It's done. It fits. It does. L also doesn't fit. Oh, क्या है ये? तू क्या सब ट्राई करेगा इधर? हाँ. Okay. Cloud Elastic.
So how many of you know that we have a cloud offering?
How many?
I think few. How many of you know it's different from AWS ES? I'll just give 3-4 minutes and then I'll jump to the slides so that you get an email, you verify that email, and then we are ready to spin off a cluster.
So what do you want? You go to Elastic search service or Elastic App Search service? Which one you want?
Go to cloud.elastic.co, register for a trial, Elasticsearch service. I'll just go it back.
Oh, the Azure one is still not come, huh?
No, it should be there this month or next month.
टेस्टिंग तो हो गया उसका हमारा
Mm-hmm.
टेस्टिंग हो गया
Testing हो गया. Just put in your email here. You'll get an email from Elastic, and then verify your email. Are you guys done with the verification? Okay. I'll quickly continue the presentation, and I'll guide you on how to create an Elastic cluster in cloud. As you know, I'll just give a very quick brief background about Elastic as a company. Elastic Search BV was started in around 2012. Now it has been renamed to Elastic Inc. We got listed last year, and we call ourselves as a search company. Not just simple search, even for logging analytics, operational analytics, each function, each analysis that we provide, analytics we provide, at the end, internally it is something like search running on top of Elasticsearch. So we call search as the foundation of everything that you can do on Elastic Stack, and that's why we call Elastic as a search company. Quickly run through examples if you used to work or any of the ride-hailing companies across the globe. The ride matching, passenger to cab matching is actually powered by Elasticsearch. The geospatial queries are actually powered by Elasticsearch. Yelp, Zomato, Swiggy, all search powered by Elastic Stack. Tinder, I don't know how many of you use, but if you use Shari.com, if you use StevenShari.com.
So from dating to marriage is all Elastic only.
Yes. In fact, when I was getting onboarded, there is an obscure dating service called Coffee and Bagel in US. So when I was getting onboarded, this guy, he said I met my wife from that service, and that is actually powered by Elastic. He didn't know before joining Elastic that he got his wife via Elastic.
Now it depends, he's going to tweak the algorithm.
No, but he can't because
Even in the history of Elasticsearch, the application is developed for wife for searching this cookie recipe.
so in fact a co-founder and current CEO who actually has written Elasticsearch, the main product, he moved to London, and his wife is a chef. So to impress her, he was building an app to find recipes, to search recipes. That's how we found that there's a big problem with search. There's Apache machine, but it's not that user friendly. So that's where he first attempted another project. Then he started off with Elasticsearch.
Oh, man, now he's dating, marriage, and kind of account.
Anyway, so why I mentioned 350 million plus downloads? Why is so popular? It's scale. Name says Elasticsearch is built to be distributed, built to be scalable, highly scalable. We have case studies for like eBay storing petabytes of data, operational analytics data. We monitor the entire systems using the Elastic Stack. With petabytes of data, you get even then running aggregated queries, visualizations, dashboards. They still run in milliseconds. That's the speed part. And it's not just you're getting garbage results. The results you're getting are relevant. So for example, Wikipedia, if you search on Wikipedia, again, internally it's powered by Elasticsearch. So won't bore you much. Scale, speed, relevance is the main differentiation. Now coming to logging, why we are talking about logging, and why we are talking about search in a logging workshop. If you remember a few years back, I think you have DevOps you have a good, everyone has a DevOps background, so if you have logs getting generated on multiple servers, it's very difficult to figure out what's happening. Log into multiple terminals, go and do a grep, tail, write awk scripts to figure out what's happening, what went wrong, if you want to debug. I've been through the same problem. That's when, in fact, I started using Elasticstack, because that's a problem. The problem is, if you want to search something through your logs generated on hundreds of servers, it's not that straightforward. That's why we are talking about search in a logging workshop. That's why we say we are a search company. That's what we empower DevOps team to do using our logging solutions. In context, you have servers, maybe virtual, maybe public cloud, maybe private cloud, maybe managed by a hosting provider, or your bare metal servers or virtual servers. We heard about Docker, Kubernetes. You have infrastructure, you have your code, and they generate a lot of logs. What is relevant to you? A small line in GBs or terabytes of data could be relevant, could be the reason why your service may go down, why your infrastructure may go down in some time. So what is relevant to you? How do you figure this out? And obviously you marry it with your infra metrics as well. Which processes are running on your infrastructure, which containers are running, what's the utilization at the container level, or which processes are running at a server, whether all these processes are normal processes, or some raw process has come up, or one of your developers is running a reporting service on production, and it started taking up CPU utilization, high CPU utilization, and it may bring down your application as well. So if you want all this, and you want to figure out what's happening, you'll have to search through a lot of logs. But wouldn't you prefer something like this? Overall infrastructure, what's happening, where the number of hits are coming from, how many hits you have got, what are the response codes for each service that you have written, or even do distributed tracing from the same dashboard. So, by the way, how many of you know that we also have APM? So, frankly, it is the most popular open source APM solution right now in the market. We have APM agents for leading programming languages, and if you have a dashboard with your process info, your application log info, your APM info, what is the response time, what are the errors happening at a single dashboard, how easy it is to debug your whole IT ecosystem.
Hey, Ravi, you have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
What's it?
Stop using Twitter.
Now you have to, man.
And getting relevant alerts. Now, again in DevOps, how many of you have set up alerts? Not in Elasticstack, any application. Could be infra metrics, could be your application logs, could be your APM. And how many alerts generally do you get in your mailbox? Huh? Obviously you must have created a folder.
Yeah.
And every week or every few days you go and purge it. Then what's the point of keeping those alerts? So that's what we are trying to optimize, that it becomes a right solution for DevOps, for operation teams, even for developers. If you have not used alerting or machine learning, a very simple way to solve this alerting problem is don't send out email alerts for your alerts. All alerts in Elasticsearch get stored as an index. Run machine learning jobs on top of it. So you have 404 errors, you have 100, usually 100, 200, 404 errors coming in. You have 100 emails in your mailbox. Instead of you generating 100 emails, let it get stored in Elasticsearch as an index. Machine learning will figure out what's the normal behavior, how many alerts typically will you get per day, and suddenly you, instead of 100 alerts, you get 500 alerts. That's when you need an alert. That's when you should get an email, not when you know that there are, anyways I'm going to get 404 errors, 100 404 errors per day. Could be any type of error. Or even you can create a dashboard on top of it. How many 404 errors are you getting? How many 404 alerts you are getting? You can suppress those kind of alerts. These are the age-old problems we are trying to solve. And machine learning, I spoke about it. It's unsupervised anomaly detection, multiple use cases, specifically in DevOps. Many things can be achieved with machine learning jobs. We have quite a few recipes available on GitHub. You can go and explore. We have quite a few case studies available as well, so you can go and explore. And sorry, the slide is really broken, but yeah. What's the advantage of using Elastic Stack? Increase your system reliability, stability, reduce time to resolve issues. Issues will occur. Any system, any organization will have issues, but it's how quickly you can figure out what's the issue and resolve it. Business continuity is important for nearly everyone. So yeah, and also provide insights. Machine learning also gives you forecasting features as well. What's the disk IO, what would be the future disk IO for a server, CPU utilization, memory utilization. You can do basic forecasting as well. We covered this, scale, speed, relevance, the three main factors by they make us important. This is the overall stack. I'll jump onto the workshop after this. Elasticsearch core. So how many of you use Beats?
How many use Beats? One?
Just one. 2, 3, 4.
Who? Beats?
How many of you have tried Beats? Okay. Any reason you don't want to use Beats?
Actually, currently actually I was trying to do infrastructure monitoring, but already we have a legacy system and people are not really willing to move.
They don't want to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's typical.
pretty typical. But you can build up a parallel system and show them application logs, metrics, and APM as a single layer is very popular. Yeah, and so this is the overall stack. Elasticsearch for the core. It's the core and the heart for storing data, for running queries, running analytics on top of it. Beats and Logstash for ingesting data. Kibana has the visualization layer. Kibana, if you don't know, it's becoming really, really powerful these days. We have Canvas. We have launched Canvas. We also support. We have added support to Vega.js. Vega.js is it's open source JavaScript chatting library, and it's becoming really popular for multiple use cases as well. We have, last week I spoke to a customer who wants to replace Tableau with Kibana. I mean, yeah, I said it's not an apple to apple comparison, but people see the power of Kibana as well. So, yeah. And solutions, we spoke about search. If you have, Elasticsearch, we say it's a search engine. So search obviously is a very popular use case. Most probably, any app you open, most of them, the search would be powered by Elasticsearch, some way or the other. We have certain solutions available as well. Site search. If you have a website, you want a quick fix search bar on top of it. Within few minutes, you can put in a search bar. In fact, Google used to offer that service. They have shut down their service. So if you're looking for a replacement, site search is a very simple replacement. In fact, they themselves recommend site search. Logging, that's what we are covering. Logging metrics we'll cover today. APM, again, it's becoming a really popular solution for APM. We have quite a few customers. When I entered the room, I heard about few APM vendors. We have few customers who are planning to migrate from those vendors that were being spoken about. I don't want to take names, but yeah, people see the power of getting all that data at a single place. and business analytics again becoming a popular solution. Security analytics, we can speak for days just on that. Most new age security SOC solutions are being built on top of Elastic Stack. Even the legacy vendors are building their new solutions on top of Elastic Stack. So it's becoming a really popular solution for security analytics as well. How do we deploy it? Self-managed and SaaS. So today, because of the time limits, we'll quickly cover using the Elastic Cloud, because the cluster would be auto-configured. But obviously, you have standalone, you can go and deploy it. We offer certain tools for enterprises as well. We call them Elastic Cloud Enterprise. And some features, the core, as you know, is open source. That's why it's very popular. And we have certain additional premium features available as well. If you want to secure your stack, you want to add alerting, monitoring, graph, machine learning, reporting, all those features are part of the premium offering. Okay, I mean, I think most of you know about beats and logstash, so I'll skip these. This is a typical deployment in the enterprise or large organization. This is a typical architecture. You have data coming in from different beats, you have data coming in from APM server, you have data coming in from data stores, devices, infrastructure, IoT devices, you have your own data lakes as well, and you can start ingesting data, and you can have a pretty complex Elastic cluster. And trust me, Elastic clusters really get complex. I'm right now sizing a cluster with 1,000 nodes in India, so yeah, it's pretty common. It's not that uncommon. So yeah, I mean, I thought I'll just keep this slide for reference purpose. And what all data can be ingested? I mean, anything can be ingested. Someone mentioned you use it for data as a data store as well. Yeah, so a lot of people have experimented with a lot of things, and that's why you have so many different use cases for which Elastic Stack is being used. You have data ingest mechanism for nearly every device. Could be ingestion, could be even as an output as well. You can store data in big data stores, Hadoop ecosystem, collect infrastructure logs, collect your networking logs, collect your security device logs, getting firewall web proxy logs. It's again a very common use case. That's why it's becoming really popular for security analytics as well. Okay. Beats, I think very few people know about beats, so we have 7 official beats now with 50 plus modules and 70 plus community beats. You can collect data from nearly any source now. And again, Docker and Kubernetes ready again for we know something like Prometheus and Grafana, and those things were pretty popular, but people started ingesting Prometheus data into Elasticsearch. So that's why we added modules for Docker Kubernetes, because a lot of developers, a lot of DevOps enthusiasts wanted that direct connectivity. So we now have modules for Docker and Kubernetes. And in fact, we have an infra UI. I'll cover that infra UI as well, where you can directly monitor your entire Kubernetes cluster or multiple Kubernetes clusters as well. These are the official beats: Filebeat, Metricbeat, Packetbeat, collecting network data, function beat, something like AWS Lambda. If you want to monitor services running in AWS Lambda, you can use function beat. Buildlog for Windows events, Heartbeat for uptime monitoring, could be a web server, could be a database server. Audit beat, again very interesting, which user logs into a particular server, what commands were being executed, which files were accessed, what changes were done to a file, whether the user had access to it, what all commands were being executed, which processes were being run, whether they were valid processes or known processes. All that data can get captured using AuditBeat. Okay, and we have out-of-the-box modules. We'll cover them during the workshop. I'll quickly jump. Are you guys able to log into your cloud account? Just click on create deployment. There would be a navy blue button for so when you see the screen, we support multiple public cloud regions. We have it for enterprises as well, this kind of a UI for enterprises as well. I know most of you would have gone and individually downloaded the Elastic Stack and ran each node individually, but we have tools now available for enterprises where you'll get a similar UI for deploying new clusters. This is a SaaS offering. You can deploy Elastic clusters on different regions on AWS and GCP, and soon on Azure as well. We have certain services on other cloud providers as well, but we'll stick to these public cloud offerings for now. So you can choose any of the regions you want. So I'll suggest you use 6.5.4 for now. While you're choosing the Elastic Stack version, and continue with IO optimize. Instead of create deployment, click on customize deployment. So I mean, it makes life easier for you. You just have to select how many zones you want to deploy it on, how much RAM you want to allocate for each node. You can keep on adding node. From the UI you can add up to 5 nodes, but 10 nodes now. We have introduced 10 nodes. But if you want more, you can contact support as well. So it will automatically allow. It's a logging use case. We use IO optimized template for this. We have templates for search available as well. So if you see, we maintain a RAM to storage ratio. So you have total 8 GB node, 2 nodes of 8 GB running on two zones, and you automatically get a set amount of storage. These are optimized ratios that we have come to the conclusion by running multiple benchmarks, multiple projects that we do, and you can override them. Obviously, you can create your own templates as well. But for most of the use cases, we highly recommend that you follow the templates that are defined. You can enable machine learning. Right now, we may not have time to cover machine learning today, but if you want to tomorrow go and explore, we can enable it. The trial that you're getting today, it would be 15-day trial. So I would suggest once you start ingesting data, you keep ingesting it for a few days, enable machine learning on your cluster, run few of the machine learning recipes available, give it a shot, because the machine learning here actually works. We're not claiming that you have to write a code. Machine learning is very simple that we have developed, and we're not offering you that you upload your own code or we can do this or that. We're just saying that we can do unsupervised anomaly detection, and it works. And it works in production. We have customers, we have case studies available for you. They work at very large scales as well, not just at smaller scale. And again, based on what configuration you use, you'll get the master automatically may get added once we feel that the cluster is large enough to have dedicated master nodes. And if you want to enable APM, you can get an APM server available as well. If you want to try out APM, you can try out in the trial version as well. I'll disable it for now. And that's it. Create deployment. So it will take 4 to 5 minutes to create.
Is yours different from ours? I mean, I didn't see these things here. Optimize your. I get optimize your deployment. What are you guys getting?
No, go down, scroll down. Just on the right hand side, bottommost right hand. Yeah, customize.
So you want to customize the deployment basically. And what do you want to change in the customized deployment?
Nothing, I was just showing you.
Showing
options.
this stuff.
You can go ahead with the simple. Yeah, so you will get your by default, and there's no change in default. You'll get security enabled because in cloud we cannot keep it open. You'll get to hear a lot of cases where people have kept their elastic clusters open. A lot of high profile cases where customers have kept their elastic clusters open. I would strongly recommend that if you're not using the premium features, at least take considerable steps to secure your elastic clusters even when you're using open source, because a lot of high profile cases have happened. There have been huge data breaches. Even in India, few of the government organizations left their elastic clusters open, and there was a big data leak that happened last month itself. So I would highly recommend, if you're not using the enterprise versions, do take proper steps to at least ensure that it's not available publicly, and figure out ways to even make it secure if it's internal. Yeah, I would others. I'll jump to the slides again. I'll recommend you copy the username, passwords, cloud ID, and even the Kibana instance. Once it's up, you'll get Kibana credentials as well. So I'd recommend you copy paste and keep it in a notepad. This deployment will take 4 to 5 minutes, depending on what cluster size you have chosen. So till the time it comes up, I'll continue with the slides. Yeah. So once Kibana is up, you can see you will be able to see some out of the box modules that we ship. Even in the open source version, you can get these kind of dashboards out of the box. You don't have to create these visualizations. These are available out of the box. We have also launched something called as Elastic Common Schema. Another problem with most DevOps teams is you have so many applications, you have so many devices, you have so many servers from different vendors, different manufacturers. They have their own naming convention when they generate logs. So that is a pretty big problem when you're optimizing your DevOps installations. You want to optimize your logs, or you want to create dashboards across different devices, different manufacturers. So we have come up with Elastic Common Schema. We've started using some naming conventions. We have started defining fields. So it's now released in beta. It was released a few days back. So you can go and explore, start using Elastic Common Schema to normalize the log fields that your different devices or servers are generating, or your applications are generating, so that you can reuse the same dashboards, reuse the same alerting scripts, machine learning scripts, you reuse the same aggregations and queries as well. So I would really recommend go and check out Elastic Common Schema if you're not. These are some of the Beats module. It's a growing thing, system, Linux or Windows system. You want to collect your Linux system or Windows system metrics, Apache logs, Kafka logs, Logstash, Redis, HA proxy, and these are some official modules. You have quite a few unofficial modules available as well. So I think I'm very sure most of the crowd is actually using these products one way or the other. So we have ready modules available for these. just install one of the beads, and you can see dashboards getting populated immediately. Okay, is the cluster up? Can you guys check?
Yeah, mine is up.
If you had not copied the Kibana password, there's a way to reset it. Otherwise, when you click on your cluster, you'll get a link to Elasticsearch URL as well as the Kibana URL. You can just click on that.
How to retrieve the password? Kibana.
Go to security. If you can see the screen, there's a security tab.
Right.
Go to security.
Please set the password.
Yes. Are you guys able to log into Kibana? Okay, I'll run through the modules. If you're facing any issues, just let me know. Anyone able to log into Kibana?
So login is asking for sample data or
Yeah, so just click on Kibana, the Kibana logo at the top. So you'll get this screen. Add data to Kibana. So right now we have started including modules out of the box in both Elasticsearch as well as Kibana. So today's workshop, I'll quickly cover Metricbeat for collecting your laptop metrics. So click on add metric data, and then scroll down to system metrics. And you have few steps written.
Can you retrace your steps again?
Sure. When you log into Kibana, you'll have.
No, I've got this. After creating deployments, I get these deployments, right? And then I get, okay, these are my activities, Elasticsearch and this.
Go to copy paste the password. Copy the password.
I got these, I guess, copied.
Go to Menteka, launch Kibana.
That's it. Okay. Thanks.
Username is Elastic and password. Sir, I'll come. Could be a temporary. Not being able to
See, we don't need to try a sample data. We'll just
You
do
can try sample data, but I thought I'll
explore our own.
uh,
Use the logbeat
Metricbeat for collecting stats from your own
laptop.
laptop,
Okay, cool.
which is you
Makes
get
sense,
to
yeah.
see how much what is the network traffic, which processes are running,
Perfect.
what's the CPU utilization.
So add metric data, right?
Yeah, add metric data and then go to system metrics. So I hope you already have Metricbeat downloaded.
Yeah. Fonts needs to be increased.
I started using VS Code now.
It's a good one, man.
Hmm?
We've been using it for almost 2 years.
I used to use Atom.
GitHub. Yeah, even I was in GitHub Atom before.
So
Last year.
you just have to change these two lines inside your YAML file. Just follow the commands. So when you run this Metricbeat space setup, it actually installs the dashboards. It copies the default dashboards inside Elasticsearch. That's why they get enabled on Kibana and you can see dashboards coming in directly. So when you run Metricbeat space setup, you can if you monitor the outputs, you'll see that it's loading dashboard. It will mention loading dashboards. And once you start collecting, once Metricbeat is running, just click on check data. Are you guys able to see the data on Kibana dashboard? So you'll have multiple tabs here. By default, you would be able to see the system overview. You can go to each host. So this is a single beat can collect data from multiple modules. So you can go to host overview and see different dashboards. These are out-of-the-box dashboards available. Obviously, every data that you're ingesting is available to be searched. You can create a custom dashboards as well, custom visualizations as well. So these are some out-of-the-box dashboards. Even what is the network traffic, there is the top processes, or the network interfaces, all these things, they come out of the box. Another new feature that has been added is infrastructure UI. So it covers for physical or virtual servers as well as Kubernetes and Docker clusters as well. So if you have Docker Swarms cluster or if you have a Kubernetes cluster, you run Metricbeat module for Docker or Kubernetes, this UI will get populated, or even for your entire infrastructure. Right now I'm getting data from a single laptop, so you can see a single box, but give it a try. Try ingesting data to a neighbor's cloud ID. You'll see one more box coming in, and it starts getting populated automatically, and it will start showing you health. You can see the health on CPU usage, memory usage, inbound traffic, log rate. You can see that if you want to drill down, you want to see the actual logs, or you want to see the metrics, you can drill down and get that data as well. So it's kind of for main ops center, you can start monitoring this UI instead of monitoring different dashboards. Similarly, we have Kubernetes. If you see at the top right, you have Kubernetes and Docker available as well. So once you start populating your Kubernetes metrics or Docker metrics at container level, at pod level, you'll start getting that data. Not just single cluster, you can have multiple clusters. You can monitor the entire set of clusters directly from a single UI. Any questions?
Suppose when we are using the cloud Elasticsearch, or we manually install the Elasticsearch into our application. So what happens? What is the benefit when suppose the version is changed? In that case, we have to rewrite the entire query, whatever we have written, or cloud service they provide some generic.
See, usually minor versions, most queries won't break. You have ways to upgrade it. But if something breaks, we'll obviously let you know. So for example, you spoke about version upgrades. If you click here, if you click on the current deployment that you did, you see the version of your Elastic stack. Now, if you're using cloud, or if you're using Elastic Cloud Enterprise, the enterprise version, you can do direct version upgrades from the UI itself. It will show you which higher versions are available. So example, if I want to go to 6.6, and if I click on upgrade deployment, it will give me options whether I want to do a rolling upgrade, or I want to do, if I want to create a new cluster, then start redirecting traffic to that cluster, and then kill my older cluster. There are ways to do it. And if there's a major version change, it will give you warnings. These features were deprecated or these features were changed, and it may break something in your application. So it will give you that warning. And we have release notes available as well. If you're working on the open source version, you get release notes, everything gets mentioned. So if you're planning to do an upgrade from one version to another, I would strongly recommend you read the release notes.
Suppose we have millions of records into our Elasticsearch. So what is the best approach to save the data into Elasticsearch index? On the daily basis, monthly basis, or a single instance can persist all logs?
So if you're doing time series, so anyways by default Filebeat and Logstash will create an index for every day. So a new index gets created every day.
This point will be like what is the recommendation? Like it should be how should the index be, like a daily basis or monthly basis?
Daily
So that
basis. It depends on the size as well. If you're generating very few log lines per day, then you can also explore monthly as well. But typical application we recommend daily index size.
Monitor the current container logs. If we want to integrate our current container logs like the Kibana UI, so how can we go?
So you're talking about container metrics, or you're talking about application running within the container?
Application running with
So again, multiple ways. Filebeat, you can run Filebeat inside your container, or you can have shared storage with your host. Generate logs on that shared storage and then run Filebeat on the host.
Can we monitor the container log?
Sorry.
how can I analyze the record?
This one is console, Terraform, Splunk,
So
Speedo, Nomad,
if you go to
Vagrant.
Kibana,
They show you.
when we added you can Docker and Kubernetes modules are automatically available out of the box. So when you click on metrics, you have Docker and Kubernetes.
Configuring the current setup that we have, we want to configure it directly.
Even then, it's available. You run it on the host, and there are ways to enable it. You run it on the main host on which you are running. Yes.
Instead of running in the services inside the container, can we run as a Docker image and pull up the data?
So in fact, we have added support for MCharts as well last month itself. So you can run it yourself or use MCharts to deploy your either Elasticsearch or Beats or Logstash on Docker containers and orchestrate using Kubernetes.
We create groups.
Sorry?
We create groups for sections. Groups.
Groups for?
Suppose some database servers and web servers. We create groups automatically when we register with particular users. We need to group them.
You need to group them. Yes, sir. So you're talking about users for who want to log into Kibana, or you're talking about Kubernetes?
Suppose I register my laptop, right? So it just becomes closed. Suppose I have a set of web servers to need to integrate it. So can I create a web server like applications?
So for that, in the Metricbeat YML, you can do configurations. So you have groups, different naming conventions are available, different ways to achieve that. So a small configuration change in Metricbeat.
So I have a question about the indexing and the mapping parts. Often when integrating different kinds of devices, the log formats change a lot.
Yes.
Even with the default setup, there is always a case where you have to function. Are there better ways to manage the mapping, or it's purely through API?
So mapping, either change them in Logstash, we do transformation in Logstash. We've launched Elastic Common Schema. I spoke about it.
I need to look at that.
Yeah. So same scenario. We are working with a very large enterprise in India. When I showed them Elastic Common Schema, they said that we have kind of written the same thing ourselves. Nearly every large organization does that because they want to normalize the logs so that they create common dashboards, create common queries. So that's why we have launched Elastic Common Schema. We are trying to push it with the network alliances that there are in the market, but it's there in the roadmap. If we can start asking all device manufacturers to use Elastic Common Schema, that would be easy for everyone. So it's like a canonical data model that we are trying to launch. So that's where we are heading to.
Okay. But I mean, the current management, if you need to sort of update something, the only way is to sort of take the dynamic mapping, create it, and reapply what you want, right? That's the only way.
Yeah.
It's kind of be able to maintain that basis.
So we have launched index lifecycle management
Okay.
now.
This is what it
Go
is.
and click on
So-
any of the index, view the mapping, change the mapping.
Correct, that's what it's.
So, yeah, that part we have launched on Kibana. It's still in beta.
In beta.
So few features are GA, few features are in beta. We are also launching frozen indexes which can be controlled directly from the index life cycle management. So there's a good roadmap for index life cycle management. Any more questions?
We actually have a very similar problem, but it's with different applications writing their own way of doing their own logs. That's probably where we get stuck very, very heavily most of the time.
Yeah. So
Is
again,
there a place where we can ask questions from Elasticsearch specifically, like if we have a problem?
discuss.elastic.co.
That's where like it's easy to get answers.
So in fact, we even our actual engineers and developers, they monitor that forum. And generally, they answer the queries as well. So, and we have a pretty good meetup community. I said 26th we are meeting as well. So, Haptic is presenting how they are using Elastic Stack for entire monitoring their infrastructure. I'll be presenting a small topic as well. So we arrange it across India. So
This is not in India. Like any of the regions are not available in India.
as of now, it's not there in India. I'm pushing for it. We have.
Well, I think there are a lot of limitations in terms of if you don't want your data to be outside the
Yeah, data sovereignty.
Yeah.
See, few of the large users that we have in India, Elastic Cloud, they say that North Virginia is the cheapest, so I want to go to North Virginia. So even for me, it gets difficult. My cloud team says that, oh, you have so many users who are okay to use North Virginia or Singapore. Then why are you pushing for Mumbai? But yeah, we have now good traction. We have around 10 customers lined up on AWS Mumbai, so it will happen very soon. So, a lot of startups and companies are okay to ship their data out there.
Yeah, the big will not allow. SP the CISOs won't allow.
People, last year I met a smaller NBFC. They were storing other clear text on cloud, shipping it to North Virginia. So I was like, how? So he was laughing. It's okay. For smaller players, they will never come back. They will never come after us. So,
Now you never know, man.
and those are.
When you are small, but you'll become big, this same will be used. Arey.
Okay, any other questions?
One question regarding the mapping only. So, like when we manage ourselves, the Elasticsearch cluster, it has the limit like for the nested field, like we can only have 1,000 fields within the nested object. Do we have the same limitation here also, or you are managing it?
The core is open source. It's not that we have separate code bases for the enterprise version and the open source version. The core is absolutely the same. In fact, even the premium features, the code is open. It's not open source, code is open. The license we have a different. They can actually go and check out the code for our premium features as well. And it's bundled.
Yeah,
And it's
I was
bundled
actually
with.
looking at the reporting part. I was wondering if that would be.
So you can go and
Typically, you can.
so it's bundled actually bundled as part of the every build.
Okay.
So if you want to enable premium features, want to try out the premium features, you're using the community edition. We have license management available here, so you can do that. Right now it's on cloud, so you cannot change it. But when you are on prem, there is a license management tab here on inside
I've seen
management.
that.
Yeah, so you can go and enable the trial. You have a 30-day trial available. You can explore all the features, but the core remains the same.
Hey Jeremy, send me a PPT.
Mechanism for
Alert mechanism. Alert. How do you configure that?
yeah. And disable alert. Okay, I have another one. I'll show you. Next thing we have few minutes, right?
Yeah. Mine's the other one session is basically on your own. It's a coding session.
So, simple alerts, you can create a simple threshold alert. I think Metricbeat is there. You select which beat you want to select, which index you want to use, and basically put in the conditions here. Simple query, simple Apache based query. When you put in the conditions, it can actually run a simulation, like how many times this alert would have got triggered in the past. And on the action, on the UI, we have actions for email, logging, and Slack. But we have scripts, backend scripts, where you can actually integrate with a REST API. We have webhook functionality available. So if you want to invoke a REST API as soon as an alert gets triggered, you can do that as well.
What about on-prem?
Alerting is only available as part of the premium offering. So you need a subscription for that. It's not part of open source. Obviously, we'll have to keep some features.
So what is the current pricing model?
It's per nodes. It's per node. How many nodes you want to use? Nodes of Elasticsearch, not Logstash or Kibana. How many nodes of Elasticsearch you're using? Per node.
And for the so when I'm using on-prem, I want to use the other mechanism. So I need to buy a
Subscription.
subscription for on-prem.
Subscription, we have 2 tiers, Gold and Platinum. So Gold will give you security, alerting, monitoring, reporting. Platinum, apart from all features in Gold, also gives you graph analytics and machine learning.
So subscription means I need to buy the price.
And obviously you'll also get support. So we have a support team. If you face any issues, cluster goes down, depends on how important it is. So yeah, see, open source is a distribution model, but not a business model. At the end, we can't give everything for free. Right?
So I have one query which is the security aspect. There's a API which you can say block certain
IPs.
not IPs. I'm saying when you make API calls to Elasticsearch, for example, if I don't want records to be deleted, that would be blocked.
When you enable security,
Does that require security or can be done?
so So when you enable security module on Elasticsearch, security is not just on Kibana, it's even at the API level. Each API call would be authenticated, authorized, you will have token mechanism. You can create roles, which role will have access to just read.
Yeah,
write.
that's what I'm saying. It's like the fine-grained permission.
Even at field level, role-based accesses are available as part of it.
Okay. Even on the field level.
So for a particular user, you want to return only 4 fields instead of the 10 fields available, you can do that in security. So even at the API level.
Is there any way we can, trace back, from Watcher we have created one incident, and can we trace back to the original event? Is there any way to do that? So that was actually mapping is. And another question is, is there any way I can make logs start very quickly? Because that is one of the reasons why my management is not.
You don't need logstash for quite a few use cases now, because we have beats available.
But the way my product works is actually it's a kind of a SIM solution wherein customer sends lots of different data sources of a data. So we have to write custom parsers. So in that we cannot rely on the beats. We will have to write it in our logstash.
So even you can make logstash highly available as well. You can run multiple instances of logstash parallelly as well, so that even the downtime is not that a problem. You can do a rolling downtime.
Because the architecture is we will not be doing that because we have appliances going to the customers.
Okay.
That logstash is
Logstash installed on appliances.
yeah.
There are ways to which version?
It's like somewhere in this setup, one of the ways to do it, database have a different structure and then the structure.
We are in PCI. So we are in
And you are not using security, all the communication is unsecure.
No. Everything is
That's
secure.
why I was asking.
Yeah.
I'm
We
concerned
are-
about the delete of records for an API.
In fact, even the Elastic Stack is in your enterprise, it's not exposed publicly.
Yeah.
Someone in your team can go and delete an entire
Yes.
index.
But we are pretty much secured. But the one you said is not.
These kind of securities, you have hundreds of workarounds to
Right.
get into that. You put in a reverse proxy, you put
Exactly.
in Nginx server to authenticate it, but it's very easy to break. How much time will it take to someone who wants to do it? It will take few minutes to break it. Yeah, appliances I can check internally. Which version of Logstash is running?
Currently, we don't have a logstash running. We want to move to logstash, but because of this reason, we are not.
See, basic parsing is obviously available in Beats as well. And we have launched Elastic Common Schema. So the parsing or conversion or name, transformation of data, those kind of things can be handled. Only thing which Beats won't be able to handle is, say you want to augment some data or enhance your logs with certain
That is
data.
where it becomes.
So those things you can't do. But I'm very sure someone would have done what you're trying to achieve. Seam solution, we are talking to so many people in India who are exploring Elasticsearch.
Yeah, so usually all of them have logstash on their data center, not on the premise.
Not necessarily. Okay, so you are offering managed services?
Yeah.
For LC? Okay. Yeah. So there are ways to do it as well. But I would say at least enable security.
Yeah.
Risky if you're putting Logstash there. Any other questions?
So regarding Midlog Beat, so I'm unable to filter more than 24 event IDs.
Filter.
Yes, I'm like if the event ID is more than 24 or something. I'm not sure the exact number. The Metricbeat is not Midlog Beat is not sending the data to the Elasticsearch.
Shouldn't happen. Just after this session, I will check with you. Maybe share the
Sure.
version.
And one more thing, same for the disk. We have we have a bare metal. So separate, it's a standalone server. We have 2 mount points. One is for 2 separate hard disks we have. So if any one of the disks watermarks is exceeded, like for example, if it is exceeded in the like today 5 o'clock or something, the 5 to next day 12 o'clock there is some data loss. So the next day index is writing on the new disk. On the same day index is going to on read only mode. So if we move like if we change that the read only mode, no, then hardly it is stays for 30 minutes. So how we can
So you basically, if I understand correctly, on the Elasticsearch, the index that is being written, you have multiple mount points. If one of the mount points or one of the disk is out of storage, you want it to automatically switch to the other mount
Yes.
point. I'll check. I think this configuration is available. I don't remember it properly, but I can check and get back to you.
Actually, Elasticsearch automatically balances the data between both the mountains because we are also using something similar. We never have faced anything like that.
I think he gets this
Yeah,
storage
he has a
issues pretty
standalone
frequently.
If the disks are full, it's going to be
If he has a two mountains, then it will balance.
See, it depends on what is the configuration of
Yeah,
mounting
maybe.
as well, right? So,
Can you share one use case where elastic machine learning is being used?
quite a few. If you look at operational analytics, something like, can you give me your use case? What kind of use cases you are working on?
No,
in
like,
analytics? I'm saying your industry type or which organization you're working for. Don't give me the names or type, say a e-commerce website or
we
any.
have an IoT system
Okay.
where devices keep on sending events and based on that we perform searches and we monitor the devices.
Okay. So, for example, you'll have number of events per second. The rate changes every day and at every point of time, right? At some point of time, you would have peakers. You'll get say 100 events per second, and at midnight, after post midnight, you may have say 5 or 10 events per second. If you want to do alerting, can you put in a threshold? What should be your minimum events per second or what should be your maximum events per second? No reason being, it would vary based on at what time you're getting the data. So machine learning can monitor this metric as simple as events per second. What it will say is, say at 6 p.m. every evening, usually you have good amount of traffic, say 100 to 150 events per second, and after 12, it dips down to 5 events per second until say morning 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. But suddenly you get very high traffic at 1 a.m. in the night, say 150 events per second. If you do normal threshold alerting, 150 events per second is normal because you have kept a threshold of 150 events per second. But 150 events per second at 2 a.m. is in the night is not normal. So based on your time series data, what is the normal behavior of that metric at particular point of time through a day? Machine learning will study and understand that this is an anomaly. This is not a normal behavior, and it will throw an alert. It's a very simple example. Obviously, you can have more complex examples. You can have multiple variables involved as well.
So for how many days means do we does it take to form this pattern?
3 periodic cycles. So periodic cycles could be hours, could be days, could be weeks, could be months as well. Or for larger e-commerce kind of use cases, we have years as well. So you'll have a Diwali season where you'll have a peak, but that peak shouldn't come in a normal season. So Diwali season, obviously, it will understand. So for it, first time it sees Diwali, it will be an anomaly. But second year, third year, it will say, okay, during this time period, usually we see a higher peak. So it won't be an anomaly, it will say it's a normal behavior. So periodicity. For you, it could be days or it could be weeks. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah.
It's like the same scenario that we are discussing. So suppose right now we know that at this period of time the events gonna like come this way. This will be with the daytime it will be peak, in the night it will be gonna let's say. But using this machine learning algorithm that can we graph like for next days?
It can do
Sure.
forecasting as well. You can do forecasting as well.
Is this possible?
Yes.
So
It's available out of the box.
it will be directly available.
Yes. You can, the machine learning, we have a metric viewer for machine learning. I'll show it to you.
Oops, sorry.
So this is click rate for a website. So it will show you different periods of time. So it's showing it for multiple days, and you have forecasting available as well. You want to do it forecast for, say, I'm not sure how much data I have in this demo, but say I want to run forecasting for next 5 days. So what would be the value for 5 days? So shaded region is normal. Anything above and below could be an anomaly, but this would be the normal behavior. So we will have values. You can go and check out what should be the value for.
So this multi-level feature, is it available when we are not using this cloud solution?
It's available as part of subscription. It's not part of open source, but it's available as part of subscription. You can try it out on your instance. Go to management, license management. You can enable the trial for 30 days. Trial is available.
We can try on the same.
And if you want to extend it, you can contact me or someone in my team. We can talk about it.
So this is available on what? Cloud.elastic as well as on-premise enterprise.
So all features that are available on premise are also available on cloud, and vice versa. Only thing is managing your cloud or managing your enterprise, a single UI to do it, add any cluster, those things won't be available on premise. We have a very separate offering if you have a very large cluster you want to manage.
Can you explain a little bit more about timeline?
Sorry?
Timeline?
Timeline is very specific for few use cases, specifically for, say, some security use cases. They want to do time series analysis, and so something like stock market time series analysis. They are very specific. They have few use cases for which they are used, but most people don't use it. Very
It's only for say time series of certain things.
time series. So there are some engage and I don't even remember the algorithms
Right.
kind of analysis.
Is it primarily on the UI level or it's also behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes you can run APIs as well. So any feature that is visible on Kibana is available as an API. So
Okay.
even machine learning jobs, you can actually configure them by an API, get results via an API, graph analysis, you can run via an API.
Graph is the new thing, right?
Graph is, I think, couple of years.
Couple of years.
Yeah. So again, it's kind of a recommendation. It will try to find relationships between different data sets. Very popular in security related use cases, threat hunting.
Yeah.
So some user logged into one of the devices, whichever device.
Currently we use Neo4j, now.
So see, that's what we call is that we are trying to offer a Swiss knife. You can do a lot of things with it. We may not again have an apple to apple comparison with Neo4j, but frankly, unless you have very specific use case, you don't need.
Cypher is quite nice.
So you don't need all the bells and whistles of Neo4j. If you don't need that, you can give it a try. But even for APM, we don't say we have all the bells and whistles yet, but many people are okay with whatever we want. Much more than happy with whatever we want. We have quite a few customers, both enterprises and the startups, who are moving from the market leaders to us because they
Mhm.
feel that the
It's a
value
sort
of
a
it.
single dashboard that you can look at everything.
And not just dashboard, it's like alerting. I showed a very simple example. If you can compare APM stats with infra stats or APM stats with application logs and then throw an alert. A machine learning job combining both these things.
Correct, yeah, that's what,
And you get an alert or a machine learning alert and you want to see what happened during that time. You just click a link and you open two dashboards, two different dashboards. One is APM, one is infra or application logs, but they are selected at the same, filtered at the same time duration that has happened.
right.
Even then, it's
So
very easy.
this requires a certain amount of configuration, right? When you build, say, the search first and the visualization finally the dashboard. That linkage has to be there for it to work, right?
So
If I
that's why we have so many out of the box dashboards available as well.
Right. No, but if you, there's always a case where you need something else.
Not that tricky.
Okay, it's not that tricky.
Not that
You sort of
tricky.
link all of them together.
Any other questions? Okay.
Again? No more? Done? Anything done? Okay, good. We'll give a round of applause for